right, well, thank you all for coming. I'm Janet Nesbitt, formerly of Buggy Barn and now of One Sister. And I have never left Henry Glass. I just have taken it's taken me a little while to get up and running as One Sister. My first book as One Sister is Down This Country Road, and it has a little bit of everything in it so that you know, if you're not familiar with what I do, it has a little bit of everything. So there's pieced blocks with applique, there's some crazy blocks, this crazy shine on, and then the cover quilt are both done with crazy blocks. And then I've done, this journal cover is all strictly hand applique. This would be a fun class. I've already got a lady in Utah that's putting it on her class roster for fall. So our hometown is, I was hoping it would be, you could use it as a block of the month. And that's done, I'm still sewing with the Buggy Barn fabric, and Henry Glass still has that. And that's done with the creameries, the Yarn Dye Basics and the Buggy Barn Basics, just all sort of tossed together. I don't have a creamery card, but so, you know, that's still available here, okay? And then my newest line is called Note to Self, and it's just a little full of sayings to myself to keep me positive and on my journey forward. And I really like the way the colors have turned out. I think they've stayed true to what I've always done. And Lisa has done and Henry Glass have done a really good job with it. And you can see that here's the Starflower Basics down here. Yeah, and the yarn dyes. I mean, it all will coordinate with the Buggy Barn Basics. And you can see I've used these. I had lots of fun with these. They're Jaybird rulers, the Super Sidekick ruler, and the Hex and More ruler. Are you familiar with those? So that is what I used on both of these quilts, the Crazy Shine On and this Sunflower Basics. I didn't quite use them the way she does, but I basically did. But I gave you some little tips. And what is really fun is this main print Lisa laid out in a hexagon, and you're going to be able to fussy cut the words out and put them in this, if you want to, and put them in the center of this sunflower quilt. And so that is what this little sunflower is. The block isn't made this way. There's your triangle right there. It's this one, and then your other one would be this triangle here that you cut. You make this one, and then you make that triangle. Those two triangles, and then you just put those together in rows. So it's real easy. And then I got, I don't know, I got this wild hair, and I wanted a crazy border. So on this one over here, you're gonna take third yard cuts, I believe. I think they're third yards, either thirds or 3/8. I could look in the book. And then you're gonna cut up the whole width of the yardage, and then this is what you end up with. And then you can either sew them all together for your outer border, like on that, and then you can also, and you'll cut your strip width here, and use your ruler, which I just put down, to cut your triangles out. And fussy cut those crazy triangles with your ruler to get those, Mary Ellen, would you point to those crazy triangles? No, keep going. Keep going right there to get your crazy triangles in that quilt, to get the patchwork ones. Okay? And so it's just a fun little way to use the ruler, use the patchwork crazies, and just something a little different. And then I did the same thing. I just cut these down and then cut the hexagons. Use the hex and more ruler. And again, on this one, you get your, you start on one end. I might be doing this backwards for you, but you basically line up here and you cut the two ends, and then you'll turn it around. Let's see. You'll turn it around, and then for the 6.5, you'll see the lines on here. You'll line up on your lines, and then you'll cut here and here after you've got your 6.5-inch strip cut. So it's real easy to line up and get your 6.5-inch hexies out. Okay, and it works perfectly on this fabric. I cut it right out of the paper. And Lisa has always been really good. I've tested her before on other fabric we've done, and so they're really good on their printing to make sure that I get the seam allowances and things that I need for the projects. And so I'm confident that we'll have what we need for the project. And let's see, then the other ruler that I'm using is the Tri-Rex ruler, and that's been around, this Darlene Zimmerman, you know, it's been around forever. And I use these rulers on this big round barn over here to make these tall, you know, the tall sloped, the roof on the barn. And they're the 5440 or Fight. You know, like the Storm at Sea blocks. And the reason I like these rulers is because she's given you the little points to cut off. So if you have a center block, like a Storm at Sea star, and the center's 3.5 inches, then you're gonna cut for your start points, you're gonna cut 3.5-inch strips. And again, you just line them up, but you take this little point off right here on the end of the ruler. So then when you go to sew them together, you flip them this way, you line up here, but then you've got this little nubbin cut off. So it makes it really easy to line those points up, and you don't have to worry about your seam allowance. They just sew right together. And that was the other thing that I really liked about Jaybird's rulers, is she's got her little nubbins cut off on these triangles. Can you see that? And so when you flip those right sides together, so you've got a flat edge there too. And so your 1/4-inch seam is all lined up. And so they don't look like, because I haven't sewn them, but they do line up perfectly, and then your seams, everything just, it looks really hard, but that went right together. Both quilts went right together, and I attribute that to the rulers and how well they cut out. And I think that is, now, I have one more thing, one more little hint. So I would make extra, there's always a good, because I'm thinking these would also make a good, like an iPad cover. I'm contemplating like either making a bag or an iPad cover out of these. So you might also, you know, throw in an extra 1/3 of a yard, make yourself an extra piece of fabric, and you know, just have on hand to do something.
Those are great. We make a lot of those at my shop. A lot of kids to do, what do you call them, bed skirts or bed runners. Bed runners. Because we can't all make enough big quilts, so those would be perfect to work into bed runners or table runners.
Right. Yeah, so coming down the pike, I'm working on a blue, we don't have a name for it yet, do we, Lisa? But we've got a blue and gray line, and yet blue and gray and yellow line coming out, so that's why I did this quilt. And so it's coming, and soon, I don't know when. But and then the next one up is Hip to Be Square after Note to Self. So, does anybody have any questions?